Hey everybody, it's Jessica Stone at Stansberry Research. I've got Stansberry Newswire Scott Garliss on the line here. We are in the middle of political season. We're going into a presidential election. Scott, which party is better for the stock market?
When there's a Democratic president, the stock market tends to perform better than when there's a Republican president.
And why is that?
Well, Democrats tend to spend more. They tend to be tax and spend, and people might be worried about taxes, but that spending really kicks in and usually shows up in the form of things like public health initiatives and infrastructure.
Why might we feel like Republicans are better? I mean, their messages are always about, sort of financial conservatism and taking taxes away and reducing taxes and regulation, making it easier to do business. Why are those things not encouraging to the stock market?
Well, they are. Investors tend to have a perception that a Republican president is going to be better for the stock market than a Democratic president. And again, there's this perception that Republicans are the party of low taxes and less regulation for corporations. And they are. I mean, what we've seen under Trump is Trump cut taxes. And the worry when a Democrat takes over is that they're going to raise taxes. But one of the issues in terms of stock market performance has been Republicans tend to be in charge when there are recessions. And when there are big recessions and economic pullbacks, the stock market doesn't tend to do well.
Yeah, I think we're seeing that right now, although we're kind of coming out of it, right? We just hit a record recently. We should be back, at least if you look at the S&P 500. What is your takeaway for voters when it comes to how to play this then?
Sure. I think if you're a voter and you're an investor too, I wouldn't worry as much about the change in office. There are a couple of things going on here. If it's a president that has been in power going into a second term, that's good for the stock market. And again, like we just talked about, if it winds up being a Democratic president, that usually tends to be good for the stock market too. So I wouldn't be in a rush to yank all of your investments because you think more taxes and more corporate regulation are on their way.
All right, Scott Garliss, giving us a win-win readout for the future. Thanks so much for your time. And if you want to be connected directly to the Newswire, just hover on your screen right now. We'll give you a link. Plus, find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We appreciate you watching. That's all for now.